The alarm to signify that my dinner, which is currently in the oven, the alarm that will signify that that dinner is cooked, goes off in 22 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 22 minutes to discuss everything that happened in the last week. Drama! As my wonderful Penny would say. She's amazing. Well, what should we talk about first? Well, there was some YouTube drama this week, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's boring as fuck. Let's instead talk about the important thing that happened on YouTube this week. That's Maker Studios have announced they're getting rid of, like, most of their creators. So Maker Studio is an MCN, a multi-channel network, like Machinima or Fullscreen or whoever's still left alive. They're one of the big ones. You know, some of the biggest names are kind of with them. And they are cutting down. They're owned by Disney, and they're cutting down to just 300 top creators from 25,000. 25,000 people down to 300. Holy shit. Most of the other networks are going, scrabble! We need to get these people in as quickly as possible. It's interesting. It's being a really interesting time. Holy shit. Like, I think the question we really need to ask now is, are networks necessary? I mean, do you really need to be with an MCN anymore? I am, because I kind of, like, this is my business, and I like, for me, it's like insurance. That's why I'm still with an MCN. It's insurance. It's like, it's lawyer, and it's direct contact to YouTube, and it's all these things that I don't have the need for, but if shit hits the fan, I will need, and it's nice to know it's there. It's peace of mind, as they say in the funeral. It's always funeral people like, you'll get peace of mind if you know your loved ones aren't gonna have to spend £1 million on your funeral or something. Who gives a fuck? Put me in a box. Who cares? Just count upon me, and wherever I land, bury me there. That's the rules. But yeah, it's Disney and Maker apparently not kind of gelling. They're not gelling since they bought out Maker. Kind of hoping that Warner Bros. And Machinima gel a little bit more. That would be nice. I'd say that pretty much everybody who's been kicked out. The reason they're kicking everybody out is I assume that they're shrinking down the people that work for Maker. Now, like I said, one of the best reasons to be with an MCN is that you get a direct contact. Now, if there's 25,000 people, I don't suppose they have 25,000 contacts. I suppose they have a handful for the bigger ones, and the bigger ones are going to need a few people, and then the smaller ones are going to need, you know, you can cover more small people with like a one big person, I suppose. No, what? Now I'm just imagining the Maker's only hired fat people, and it's not worked. No, you can cover more networks with one person who works for Maker if they're smaller, but I kind of assume they're no longer considering that's worth it. CPMs are dropping. This is kind of a reaction to that, I would say, more than anything else. So we're going to be asking the question of, are MCNs necessary? In fact, if you are on Maker and you're getting shafted, I mean, we don't know what level. If you go on the Social Blade, where I got that 25,000 number from, which lists like everybody who's with Maker, the top 100, I couldn't work out a way to see all like the top 300, but the top 100, whoever's in 100th place has 1.7 million subscribers. So these are big channels at the 100 mark. At the 300 mark, we're probably talking several 100,000. So under that is going to get canned, and that's quite a lot of people. But I assume they're just sort of tidying up more than anything. You can still make the money without the things, it's just security. Do you need that security or not? That's a question that's going to be probably asked quite a bit over the next year. I assume they're not going to just fire everyone. I assume they're just going to let their contracts run out and then be done with it. But it's big. That is a big change up in the field of YouTube. That's a really, like, keep an eye on that story, because that's going to be a super interesting one. And it's a little bit interesting now. I wish you all well, all you Maker people. You will find, if you want an MCM, you will find an MCM. If you've got subscribers, you'll find they're gagging for it. Just maybe if you're small, maybe you want the bigger ones. They'll do you better. Yes, I am still with Machinima. A lot of people are like, you're still with Machinima? Yeah, because we have actually a really good work relationship. Is they completely don't do anything for me because I don't want them to. Whenever I need them to do something for me, they do it for me. It works. That's kind of a thing. And when they do shit, I call them out for it, and they don't get annoyed. It's great. That's exactly what I want. But yeah, that's what's going on. We had another big change of news. This actually happened last week, but I didn't mention it because I wanted to sit and digest this news a bit because it affects me a bit more. Steam Greenlight is on its way out, and it's being replaced by something called Steam Direct. Now, Steam Greenlight is a flawed system, we'll call it that. Basically, you put your game on Steam, people vote for it, and then the best ones go on Steam. Doesn't quite work because when you get the public to vote for things, you know, they send Justin Bieber to North Korea and they vote for Boaty McBoatface. They kind of go for the sillier things, and jokey meme game pieces of shit, my first Unity project, get on Steam and clog Steam up and make Steam look really shitty. And this is Valve's next way around this. So instead of having to go through this voting system, you just pay Valve a chunk of money. Which has, again, good signs that people who make these shitty Unity things aren't going to go, oh, I'm going to put 50 games up because it's going to cost them a load of money. Downside, of course, is that if you're a bedroom coder and you're just doing this in your free time, you made something actually worthwhile, but you can't afford Steam Direct, then you aren't going to get on Steam. It's a mixed bag, a very mixed bag. I still think that the best solution to this is if Valve, you know, actually just curate their fucking store by themselves. Just hire a guy to play the games, go yes, yes, no, no, yes. Because they already have rules. Don't they? You can't put anything pornographic on Steam. Can't put anything on, I don't know, there's like ultra gore or something, or don't stab children in the face. I don't know the rules. I know the pornography one's something. That's why there's no porno games on Steam. But they have their own rules, so it's going through a set of rules anyway. Why not just actually make this set of rules involve some sort of quality? Just a little touch of quality control, Valve. That would be the best thing. That's all you just go, yeah, this is, it's air control, or whatever the fuck that piece of shit was. Let's never speak of it again. Like, fail, stamp, no. That would be, you know, a good thing. But that would involve Valve actually doing something with Steam and not just kind of letting it sit there. They're so hands-off. They want to be so hands-off of that. Somebody at Valve really, really wants Steam to be a totally hands-off experience. And I don't know why. Oh, I didn't mention, the background footage today is provided by Matt, as usual. He's playing Revolve, which is on Steam. I'm not playing myself, but Matt's playing it. And how fucking infuriating is this footage? I've actually watched this footage. I was there going, Matt, what the fuck? What the fuck, Matt? Matt, what the fuck? Jump and press right at the same time, Matt. It's not hard. I'm not playing the game. Maybe it's hard, but it's infuriating. I do apologize. He's done a good job editing the online stuff, but he can't play a game for shit. Right, that was, yeah. So Steam is swapping Steam Grill out for Steam Direct, and I think it's better in some ways and slightly worse than others. I think it's actually an improvement overall. It's gonna be like $500 to $5,000 though, and that's gonna cut people out. So maybe they do it on a sliding scale of if you're a... Oh, that would be a good way of doing it. If you're sort of a university student, you get discounts and stuff, like Adobe do with their products. You know, you have like a discount for teachers and... Well, not teachers, you don't need that, but like actually have student discounts and things, so younger people who are getting into it can get into it. But again, if you have, of course, you're in your 30s, you start a program and you've made a game, you haven't got the money to put it on Steam, you're not going to sell it. Then we need some sort of voting system so people can see how good your game is. Oh god, it's looping! Anyway, let's not dwell. There's a terrible bit of news. There's a SNES preservation project. Somebody was a well-respected member of the SNES emulation fleet. Not the word I was looking for. Community! That'll be a good word. Was renting SNES games 100 at a time, having them sent to him in a post, and then he was ripping them. I believe this guy made the Hygen emulator for SNES. Is it him? I may be wrong about that. But it's a guy who's really super involved with like the NES emulation scene, and he was taking ROMs 100 at a time to make super clean, awesome versions of them or something, and getting really rare ones and stuff. And his second delivery of them got lost in the fucking post. Oh god, it's a fucking tragedy. It really, like $100,000 of games lost, like really rare, hard to find games as well. Like, first thing, if you're shipping $100,000 worth of stuff through the post, insure that shit. Please, insure that shit. It's very important. I mean, see, I want to talk about this thing because a lot of people are like, oh, it's, you know, emulation bad, boo. This is the reason why emulation is a good thing. Because if we've got those games backed up, if we lose the originals, we can still play them. That's the good side of emulation. It's like nothing is ever... If it's out there, it's never going to be lost. You know, if it's out there for everyone to download a collection of all the SNES games, it's never going to be lost. You know, museums can literally take ROMs and things and let kids play on the old games and stuff. It's a great thing. We need to archive all this shit. I've also had another great thought this week, is that mobile phone games, because most of them need to be permanently connected online to make sure you're not scamming them out of currency, most of these games, the mobile phone games, literally won't exist. After a while, their servers will just stop and who gives a fuck, so the games won't exist anymore. Those games are going to be lost to time. And they're all shit. So who cares? I kind of care. It does bug me that we're losing these bits of history. But anyway, I'm glad people are still working on preserving all this stuff. It sucks. I kind of hope the guy keeps going. I kind of hope they find out what happened to the games. Oh God, I don't know. Don't trust the mail with 10,000 games worth $10,000 worth of stuff. Don't trust the mail with that. What's the next bit of news? PlayStation Now is discontinuing service on the PS3, Vita, and PlayStation TV. PlayStation TV, therefore, has literally 0 uses. I was so pumped for PlayStation TV. I was like, oh my God, I can actually do videos on Vita games? And then they're like, we're going to let 6 Vita games on this. I was like, well, I can do videos on those 6. And then they're like, and we blocked you with HDCP, whatever way around that goes. The HDMI copy protection, so I couldn't actually get any footage off. Well done, Sony. You killed the Vita even harder. But yeah, PlayStation Now, which is the incredibly expensive service which lets you play old games. Something that I should really love is being discontinued. And like it's still on the PC and the PS4, but it's being killed on the old ones. But it's kind of on the way out. I know not a lot of people go for it because it's ludicrously expensive, and you'll like rent games for like £10 for 5 hours or something ridiculous. It is nuts. It's a nuts system. It's also like we've had better before. Like, does anyone remember Sega Channel? Now, Sega Channel... I'm actually going to have to Google that to make sure I'm saying the right thing. Sega Channel... What's it called? Sega Channel. Yes, Sega Channel. Alright, I'm going to read this from the Wikipedia thing so I get this right. Sega Channel was a pay-to-play service through which customers could access Genesis games online, play game demos, and get cheat codes. I'm going to highlight a bit there. Access Genesis games online. This was in 1994. In 1994, we had the technology, and a lot of people didn't know this was a thing. We had the technology to beam games online because it used the coaxial cable that kind of did like bits of static in a certain way that could be read the other side, and it would literally download the game via TV static. How fucking cool is that? So we've had these systems for a while. I think that only lasted like 4 years, but it had like 250,000. It will be on this page. Yeah, 250,000 subscribers, and then it dropped a little bit, but they killed it 4 years later. But that's amazing. That's such a cool bit of tech, and I feel like that is better than the PlayStation Now, because in that you downloaded the games, and in PlayStation Now they just sort of, you're renting them really. That's a bad way of doing emulation. Paying like an upfront fee and having to rent them, which is how I think that works. I don't know. I should give the biggest fuck. I really should genuinely care because it's playing old PS2 games, basically. And I love PS2 games. But I don't. It's a service basically built for people like me, and I just don't like it. I don't like the latency that these things have. I just don't like any of it, really. They've always had a lot of issues with this sort of on-live kind of software. I'm just not a fan of it. But now it's sort of fading away. I'm guessing not a lot of people are fans of it. Maybe it'll stick around on the PS4 or something. Does anybody actually... Let me know on Twitter. Not Twitter. I'm avoiding Twitter recently. But I'm going to dedicate my Twitter to just jokes, because you cannot talk in 140 characters. I really, really should have noticed this, 7.5 years ago. But I've noticed it now. It's just going to be jokes and calling Tony Blair a wanker and all the other things I normally do on it. Let me know in the comments. The comments, which are much nicer. Well, actually, you write more shit. Yeah, let me know if you ever used PlayStation Now and what you think of it. I'd quite like to know. Let's get on to the next bit of news, and this is a bit of news that excites me. Bit of a downbeat kind of news for a while. We're going to get upbeat again now. They've updated the ending of Watch Dogs 2. They've added another little cutscene that happens at the end of it. Now, this literally happened the day the last fucking episode went out. Because of course it did. There's a new little chat. Two people have a bit of a chat, and they basically say that DedSec cells are popping up everywhere. But the chat has a title, which is a set of coordinates which lead to Brixton in London. Dear Ubisoft, please, please, please set a Watch Dogs game in London, because there is no better city in the world. And I'm going to explain this to you by... Basically, there's an area in London called Camden. If you don't know of it, have a Google, have a look. It's weird. It's kind of like... For me, it's like the artsy bit. Now it's getting mainstream and all that sort of shit, but it's still got that weird... It's a market, mostly, but it's a weird market built around loads of buildings, and sort of you go under and round, and it's a strange place. And it's got a shop in it. Now, I know that Ubisoft has set a game in London recently with the Assassin's Creed, so maybe they've taken loads of photos, because you do, they take like loads of photos and then they can work out and digitally replicate it from that. Maybe they can use some of that legwork they've already done in Watch Dogs 3. Save some money. You should totally do this, Ubisoft. But there is a shop in London, in Camden, called Cyberdog. And Cyberdog is a DedSec headquarters. It is basically a raveware shop. Have a Google of images. Outside, it's basically an old London building, but outside there are these two massive metal robot men that just stand there like guards to it. And when you go in, everything is neon and everything is glowing, everything's UV reactive, and there's loud music and everything. It's basically just raveware. Everything looks like somewhere between how the Jetsons imagined the future and what Wrench was wearing in Watch Dogs. In fact, what Wrench was wearing in Watch Dogs is kind of toned down to some of the stuff you can get in Cyberdog. It's the perfect place for a DedSec HQ. I would be so happy if they were like, yeah, you've got this really cool rave shop that's like a well-known one in London, and you could be... It's the coolest shop. If you're ever in London, anywhere near Camden, go to Cyberdog. I have never gone to a rave in my life. I have zero interest in it, but it's the coolest fucking shop in the world. Ever since Forbidden Planet only sold pop finals. Just go. Go to Cyberdog. And, look at the pictures of it. Look, you'll just see colour, and you were like, shit, what is that? That is a DedSec headquarters, man. I would be so fucking excited if they set Watch Dogs 3 in London and had Camden. And, like, East London is so right for Watch Dogs. And London is known as a surveillance city. There's more surveillance cameras in London than any other city in the world. It's, like, built for fucking Watch Dogs, man. If you took the tone and, like, pretty much everything Watch Dogs 2 did and put it in London, you are gonna make one of my favourite games of all time. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the perfect setting for it. This tease has got me so excited. Like, I tend to not, like, get hyped for games. Like, I allow myself minor hype for Rockstar games. Quite a lot of hype for Rockstar games. Any game that I know is going to have that nice quality. Like, if Valve are releasing a VR thing, I know they're going to be making a good thing. But Watch Dogs 3 in East London, dude! And, like, Northwest, but it's going to be London, but shrunk down, you know, like they did with San Francisco. But, oh my god! I want to speed up the London Eye with my phone and fucking watch people fly out of it. It's the perfect city for it. Anyway, that's running a long time. I've got one last bit of news. Now, this bit of news isn't gaming news. It's not YouTubing news. But I want to put it in here because it's literally the news that's made me happier than any other news. And I know I'm pretty happy coming off of the Watch Dogs thing. But this is... Okay. I think that there are... No, you know, I'll say the news first and then we'll get into how I feel about this. The Love Actually cast are reuniting for a mini-sequel. So, I make noises that no other YouTube makes. It's because I can't pronounce smash that like button. Some people genuinely ask me, are you going to make a smash or pass video? No, I have decency and talent. Although Jenna Marbles' reaction to smash or pass videos is fucking hilarious. You should watch that video. Oh my god, I've laughed. I've watched that video so many times, it's hilarious. Anyway, the Love Actually cast are reuniting for Comic Relief. Comic Relief is a charity. They have this big telethon thing every 2 years in the UK called Red Nose Day. I think they have it in America as well, but it's not as big. But it's like a big thing. They have super high quality sketches and stuff. Like, we've had comedy sketches featuring our Prime Minister and Catherine Tate. Like, it's the Doctor Who does stuff in there. It's like when they get the best of British together and make silly things, and there's a 10-minute Love Actually sequel, which, honest to God, honest to anything, I consider one of the 3 best films ever made. The other ones are Back to the Future and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Love Actually is, I know some people don't like it, but they don't have souls. Love Actually is one of the best films of all time. It is the perfect romance film. It's one of the best ever written films. It's hilarious. It has everything you could ever want, and it's written by Richard Curtis, who I admire and adore. And just, it's just so perfect. Like the current cast of it that apparently is coming back. We got Hugh Grant, Keira Knightley, Colin Firth, Rowan Atkinson, Bill Nighy, Liam Neeson. Now, Liam Neeson, who's right, there is a deleted scene in Love Actually, and I have all the deleted scenes. I love them so much. He's a deleted scene called Claudia Schiffer Naked, 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 or something like that. That's kind of what the gist of it is about. And it's Liam Neeson, and every time he does a Taken film, this gets funnier. It's him trying to... He goes and looks up some naughty images on the internet at his sister's request, because his wife just died, whatever, plot. But he looks up these naughty images and they make loads of pop-ups appear, and it's him battling pop-ups, basically, but it's Liam Neeson. And anytime he does like a gruff spy film, it just gets funnier. And it gets to the point where he unplugs his computer from the wall and they're still on the screen. And then he bribes his son to take the fall on this one because his dad sees it. And it's just the funniest thing. And it literally just gets funnier the more serious roles he does. That's my alarm. I'm going to go get dinner. That was the news. Goodbye!